Over the years, our family's had a share of health problems.
So prescriptions are a part of our life.
Before we went to the big box store.
We both thought it would help us save. But with the long lines and impersonal service, filling prescriptions became a chore. That's when a friend recommended D&H.
Now Tristan knows our prescriptions. Brenda always helps us find the right vitamins. And after Dad's fall, Monica's been a real expert with all our home medical needs. All without the lines.
Trust and service.
That's our D&H.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends. This is Thursday, October the 10th. Good to have you with us today. My friend CATHY SALTER is here.
Hello, birthday boy.
Yeah. Well, you're pushing 68 here in a couple of days too, aren't you?
You're older than me. By a couple of days.
By a few days. Anyway, the reason CATHY is here, not to talk about our birthdays, but she is so excited. And when she came in today, I said, "You look radiant. You look radiant."
You know, put your glasses on.
No, you know how when you see moms that have just found out that they're with child. No, but you're so excited. You're radiant about the book author that's coming to town. Yeah, Matthew Goodman.
I absolutely am. Last winter, in the dead of winter, I picked up this beautiful book, 80 Days, because I couldn't resist, as a geographer, a cover that's got a globe right in the middle of it. And it is the marvelous historical narrative of Nellie Bly and Elizabeth Bisland's history-making race around the world in 1889. And I thought, why have I never heard of these two women? They were the most famous women in the world during the time of this race.
1889.
1889 into early 1890. Mm-hmm. On ships, trains, ferry boats, whatever they could line up to get around the world. Initially faster than Phileas Fogg, the fictional character in Around the World in 80 Days, which was a novel written about 16 years earlier.
So they didn't just use the airship to go around the world.
There was no airship.
There was not
No. This was on ships. Nellie Bly was asked by Pulitzer, who owned the World newspaper, to try to beat Phileas Fogg's record. Mm-hmm. And he gave her 2 days to get ready. And he said, of course, you'll have to deal with luggage and stuff like that. And she said, that's it.
Okay,
I'm going to take this bag.
We've got a little bag here. And
that's called a grip sack.
It's called a grip sack?
Everything she took, which was these items right here.
And now, if you want to see what we're talking about, go to kbia.org, click on Talk Shows and then Radio Friends. And you see, we got a little handbag here. This is smaller than a carry-on bag on an airplane.
It's like the size of a doctor's bag.
Yeah. And then the pictures, this is what she had inside.
And this will all be at the Boone County Museum, where you can see it on exhibit.
Okay.
In October when Matthew is here.
But it looks like she had a bar of ivory soap.
She had a bar of ivory soap.
Needle and thread.
Big jar of cold cream. A flask. A collapsible cup. She had
one extra pair of underwear.
Robe. A tennis jacket, like you'd wear on a ship if you're walking around the ship. Writing implements, slippers, and she had, this is a ghillie cap, Scottish ghillie cap. Mm-hmm. And she had this cap, she had a long coat made, a skirt, and a jacket. During those 2 days, she had those things made, and a camisole, and an extra one, and some underwear, and that's it. That's what she took.
Okay, and she embarked on her trip around the world.
She set off on he said, you got 2 days, because the ship was leaving in 2 days to go to England. So the competition, which she doesn't know about until much later, she's halfway around the world before she knows there's a woman also racing her who's from Cosmopolitan magazine. The owner of Cosmopolitan is coming into work the day Nellie Bly is in the newspaper leaving. And he says, oh, I'm going to send Elizabeth Bisland, who is an editor at Cosmopolitan, the other direction on a train across to San Francisco, Yokohama, and then on around the route. So it's not until they literally cross in the Indian Ocean that Nellie Bly really learns that there's somebody trying to beat her and Phileas Fogg. It is a wonderful story, not just about these two women journalists who today are basically forgotten by most people, But he fills in the backstory of the places they go through, why those particular stops along the way, because they were British coaling stations, and this was the period of the British Empire, and going through the Suez Canal and so forth. But you learn about these women afterwards, too, and how this journey affected the rest of their lives. So
Matthew Goodman is coming to town.
So he's coming to town. So I decided I would call my good friend Ann Deaton and Melissa Carr and Mary Kay Blakely at the journalism school and say, let's get the library involved, let's get the journalism school involved, let's get the Boone County Museum, Jennifer Flink involved. And Ragtag.
Okay, so go through these because we're almost out of time.
So
here. On October the
14th, Ragtag is showing a film about another journey 40 years later that was in the first airship to go around the world that had one woman journalist on it.
Okay, so that's a film.
That's the 14th at 5:30. Yes,
Ragtag,
and we will be there talking about this. The next night, the 15th, at Boone County Museum. You can come and meet Matthew from 5 to 7. We'll have wine and refreshments, an exhibit, and he will speak. The next day, he will be at 2 events at the Journalism Institute.
He'll be at the Reynolds
He'll
Journalism
be in this
Institute.
building
Okay.
at 3:30 speaking to students, and at Gannett Hall, in Fisher Auditorium at 7:30. And Steve Weinberg, an investigative reporter, is going to talk to him about journalism. And then on the 17th, he will be in the morning on a panel at the Daniel Boone Library. And at 7 o'clock, he'll be doing a book talk about 80 days at the Boone County Library.
And you organized all of this, Cathy Salter.
I did.
That's why you're so radiant today. That's why you're so radiant.
So
this it starts in in about 4 days. It all starts in about 4 days. Because today's the 10th.
Oh, that's
today's
right.
Today's the 10th.
That's right.
See, you're so radiant and so excited you forgot what day it was.
Gosh.
So it starts in 4 days and it runs until October the 17th.
So he will be staying at the Chancellor's residence. He'll be at the Boone County Museum and Galleries the night of the 15th. So come and meet him. He's a lovely person. And
now, have you met him in person?
No.
Only.
I Facebooked him, and he Facebooked back.
After you read the book.
I got to the place in the book that was so beautifully written, I had to tell him so. So anyway, he has been embraced by people in the community now who are helping to fund this and sponsor it. And we have wonderful people who have given lots of time. This bag has one example of every item that
Okay, and you can see it at Boone County Historical Society.
Yes, as soon as I finish doing little talks like this
All
about
right.
it.
Cathy Salter, thank you so much for coming by. Always a pleasure having you here.
I'll give you a copy of the
Happy
book.
birthday to you, too.
I'll give you a signed copy of the book.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you come to the reception.
Columbia Art League and the Missouri River Bluffs Association will be on tomorrow. Our program directed by Travis McMillen of the Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio Pat Akers, KVIA. Our floor director is Sifan Ouyang. And our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Moser.
Hi, Nico.